Check one. Check two. Check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out, yo. Check, check, check. We're live. We're live here on YouTube and everywhere else that you might be watching on social media. Welcome BitChute, welcome Rumble. Welcome Twitter, welcome Facebook. Excuse me, welcome X. X, the great X. We're going to talk about Trump Today. Trump. Donald J. Trump. Talk about that guy today. And live. How you doing? How are you today, baby? Hey. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We are live. This is what live internet looks like. Sometimes clumsy, sometimes perfection. So welcome to the program today. If you thought the Banana Republic wasn't bananas enough, if you thought that there weren't enough bananas in the Banana Republic, hold on to your chair for this one. Donald Trump has been removed from the presidential primary ballot in the great state of Colorado for, guess what? Insurrection. The great state of Colorado is invoking the 14th Amendment, which hasn't been invoked since the Civil War. In fact, it was designed to keep Confederates from running for office in the Union. And I don't know if it worked, but it was never invoked. No one ever did it. Right? No one ever used this 14th Amendment. So the great legal minds of our country, these great awake, woken people that claim that they know more about everything and everyone, are claiming that somehow Trump broke the 14th Amendment and therefore bars him across the spectrum for running for president. Now, the Supreme Court's going to chirp in. It doesn't mean... I was watching, I guess I saw the news on some stream, and New York Times was basically saying that Trump is off the ballot, meaning that he can't run for president, meaning that he's disqualified, meaning that the jerk-offs, not jerk-offs, but the very limited information people will hear that and say, "Oh, see, Trump lost. He can't run because of the insurrection." The bottom line is that Trump has never been convicted, tried in a court of law for insurrection. He wasn't there. What he did was mere electioneering on a very important day in history while he was president. While the election was being codified in the House and the Senate, it was Trump's idea to have a rally and tell people about what's going on in there. Right? That's called calling for a rally and getting the people to understand. And for that, the kooky left, lunatic left, has not only vilified it but made it illegal. So is it going to stick? Is Trump going to be on the ballot in Colorado for the primary? We'll find out, probably. Right? And if he isn't, then there'll be a massive write-in campaign for him. Now, all the judges that decided on this were all leftist-leaning, liberal, judges that decided. The Supreme Court is definitely going to hear it. There's a stay until January 4, which means that the Supreme Court gets to chirp in for the first time on this notion of Trump being an insurrectionist. And this could quash the whole idea. This could shut down the whole thing. Right? And who is the Supreme Court composed of? we don't want to say they favor Trump, but Trump did appoint 3 of them, right? And 6 out of 9 seem to be leaning in his direction. So I don't see how it does look like Trump is he's going to squeak out of this one, and I think it works to his advantage because then going forward, the Supreme Court's going to have a lot to say about this because it is a issue of constitutionality, and that's what the Supreme Court is supposed to do. There's no precedence for invoking the 14th Amendment. Trump would be the first. So it's a for lower courts to have even ruled on this is ridiculous. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's how it works. The court rules, and then the Supreme Court chirps in. So very soon, hopefully, we're going to get a written piece from the Supreme Court that tells us what the Supreme Court thinks about this whole insurrection garbage. Or they could turn around and say, yeah, Trump was an insurrectionist and he should be off the ballot everywhere. You really think that's going to happen? Now, right now, as it stands, if this is upheld with Colorado, that means now there's precedence. So other states like California and New York can jump on the barrel and say, oh, see, Trump can't be on the ballot because he's an insurrectionist. Right? So it's a dereliction of democracy. It's clear election interference. Why him? Why now? Why all of a sudden? It's to get him off the ballot. It's to get him to. They tried to arrest him. They tried to felonize him, and nothing seems to work. So look at this fascinating story. It is unfolding, and Sickle Fritz 896 says you don't need to be convicted. It's not really true. You have to have to be an insurrectionist. You have to have been not just accused of it, but you have to have been found guilty of it. Right? One stupid court found him guilty. And there was no consequence to it. So there is a court in America that said Trump was an insurrectionist. That is true. But anyway, so we'll let the Supreme Court decide. There's nothing conclusive. This is all circumstantial at best. Right? Everybody's an insurrectionist. Everybody wants to anybody running in politics is an insurrectionist. Is trying to steer the government boat in their direction. Right? And sometimes you have massive opposition to it. And because the other half of the people that you're opposing are in power, they try to use their power to impose on you. So this is my thumbnail today. The great Donald J. Trump, one of the greatest philosophers of our time, one of the greatest public figures, greatest personalities that the world has ever seen. Probably one of the most famous men on the planet, famous person on the planet, Donald J. Trump, running for re-election in America to lead this great nation wherever, somewhere, maybe to space, maybe to Venus. Maybe Trump's going to use Space Force to get us all to Venus, the beautiful planet of love and beauty and art. Right? Maybe that's what Trump's going to do for us. Right? I don't know. Or maybe he's just going to buy himself another condo somewhere. Right? So that's so that's Granny Cat. Hey, Granny Cat's in the house. I love you, Granny Cat. And Batman. Oh man, I miss you, Batman. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas, Granny Cat. Merry Christmas, Batman. I love you guys. And I miss you guys. And hopefully I'll see. Hopefully, if the religious people are correct, we'll meet again in heaven, at the seat of the Father. I can't see Batman or Granny Cat being in hell. They were beautiful animals. So they're out there in the God realm right now, I think. And so I have a website. My name is Marcus Conti. Every morning, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. and sometimes here and there, sprinkle in some other videos. But we're always live. We're always here on YouTube. As the election approaches, election year, election approaches, I do suspect that there will be ample censorship. So again, it's nothing that I'm doing personally. It just seems that I'm in some sort of ridiculous category. Maybe wearing a hat, offends fucking stupid people. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that I say that is so irritating to so many people. But I don't know, man. Anyway. So anyway, I got a website. Come on down. If we're ever lost and you don't know where we are, stop complaining. Come to marcusconti.com and you'll find us. We'll be on, could be on any one of these platforms: Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, X, Truth Social, and wherever else you feel like joining us. And yeah, so Trump barred from appearing on Colorado presidential primary ballot. State Supreme Court rules. It is official. The ruling is in. Let's find out. Donald J. Trump was barred from appearing on the Colorado's presidential primary ballot next year. The state Supreme Court ruled Tuesday. Wow. Just wow. I cannot believe it. How on earth can a state rule like this? It's profound. It's profound level of election interference. All the judges in Colorado, for the record, are all democratically appointed, Democratic stronghold in Colorado. Although Colorado goes red, all their judges are blue. The court determined the 77-year-old president was ineligible for the White House, citing the United States Constitution insurrection clause, which led to his removal from the ballot. Wow. It's the first time in history that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment has been used to disqualify a presidential candidate. First time in history, right? It never was invoked. We never had to use the 14th Amendment to disqualify anybody, right? Or I don't even know if we've ever. There are cases. There's people sitting in prison right now for insurrection, for the January 6th rally. Some of them weren't even there, and the lunatics came after them and threw them in jail, and fucking long time too. Some of them got 20 years. It's the first time a majority of the court holds that Trump is disqualified. A 4-3 decision. The ruling is stayed until January 4, or until the Supreme Court makes a decision on the case. So it's stayed until January 4, or the U.S. Supreme Court makes a decision. So Trump's team, if they didn't already do it, they're going to draft the appeal to the Supreme Court, file it, and the Supreme Court is almost, 100% they're going to pick it up because it has such, the constitutional value of the case is probably one of the greatest in modern time. Can you find a better case to talk about the Constitution with? Invoking the 14th Amendment that hasn't been used ever to bar a former president from running for president for something he said while he was the president and was never convicted of or tried for or against. Trump has never been. None of these accusations have ever been hung around Trump's neck, other than the fact that he was at that rally. He was the star. He was the attraction of the rally. But he certainly didn't. This is ridiculous. Well, let's just keep reading. Right? Trump's campaign is expected to appeal. Of course they were. They have full confidence the United States Supreme Court would quickly side with the ex-president and finally put an end to these un-American lawsuits. Un-American, yeah. His camp also called the decision completely flawed. This is Trump's camp. And not surprising, noting Colorado's court is made up of Democratic appointed justices, all Democrats. Right? No politics. Nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Stop accusing people of nefarious activity. Just because she's a Democrat, that doesn't mean she hates Trump. Right? doesn't it? But the court's majority wrote in their decision that they did not reach the conclusion lightly. No, it's like some heavy money. It wasn't light money. It was heavy money went in their direction. Imagine, I would love to know how much money these fuckers, or how much privilege they were guaranteed or promised for such a ridiculous decision. We are mindful of the magnitude, she said, the judges said, and weight of the questions now before us. We are likewise mindful of our solemn duty. Yeah, right. The judge found Trump incited an insurrection after refusing to accept. The determination was reached after an earlier ruling by a lower court. All right, so there's a ruling, there's precedence for Trump being an insurrectionist at a lower court. So a higher court decided to say, oh yeah, see, the lower court said so, so we'll say so too. That's why the Supreme Court has to chirp in, right? That's how the system works. All of these appeals, Trump should have done that with the lower court, saying that he's an insurrectionist. They should have petitioned and appealed that decision. Why did they wait till now? Right? Trump's guilty of that. I mean, I know he's getting hit from a lot of angles, and he's getting hit heavy from every single angle. But you got to preempt things like this. You got to get out there, and get in front of it, get in front of the story. Don't let a case hang there that says that you're an insurrectionist. Appeal it to the Supreme Court. He didn't do that. So, but the court majority said it didn't make sense. The Section 3 stops, quote, every oath-breaking insurrectionist except the most powerful one, and that it bars oath takers from. This is stupidity. Stupidness is going on. These people are fucked up. Right? This is your legal system. Have a good look at it. All the suits and ties and all the degrees in the room. They're so smart and they're so educated and they're so professional and they're so legal. But they have no fucking idea what they're looking at. They have no clue as to what is common sense. Right? It's common sense. You're disqualifying, you're taking away people's rights and privileges for theoretical nonsense like insurrection that this guy never did, right? Trump. Colorado lawsuit is one of dozens. Yeah, there's dozens. Section 3, which has been cited in the legal actions, was meant to prohibit ex-Confederates from getting back into government after the Civil War. So we're going all the way back to the Civil War, 1860s, 150 years ago. 150 years ago. The lefty group that brought the Colorado case on behalf of 6 GOP and unaffiliated voters, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. That's their name. Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. Who are these citizens? Who knows? Probably Soros money, probably, fucking Bill Gates money, right? Big money. Big money doesn't want Trump in there. It could be, common Wall Streeters. They don't want him. The markets are up right now. They don't want anybody coming in there fucking it up. Right? Keep things the way they are, man. We love Joe Biden. Joe Biden, up. Our Constitution clearly states that those who violate their oaths by attacking our democracy are barred from serving in government. Who attacked our government? Who attacked our democracy? People who showed up on January 6th to knock on the door and say, hey, we think there's election fraud in this country. It's not attacking democracy. It's protecting democracy. It's protecting democracy. And again, we're talking about a sitting president at the time. Trump was the president. Don't you get it? He is the executive, duly voted by the people, of the people, for the people. He was the sitting president, right? He won the election, remember? And he gets to rule and run the country in his image, Right? Whether you think Trump is a alpha male, fucking psychopath or whatever you think about him, he's a misogynist and a homophobe and a black hater and hates Latinos. Whatever stupidity you buy into, Trump is he's none of those things. I forgot what I was going to say. Having a brain freeze right now. It's cold out. Holy shit. It's 28 degrees out. But the sun is out. And oh my God, I told you the other day to watch Venus. Today was a clear day in northeast Pennsylvania. And the morning, you got to check out Venus at it looks like about 6 a.m. when the sun is still down. Right, but it's light enough to white out all of the other planets, and all you see up in the sky is Venus. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful sight. It's between 6 and 6:30 where I live. It could be a little different where you are, but it's always in the east. It's the east southeast. You look up at about, I guess, 45-degree angle, and you'll see it. It's you can't miss it. You just have to look up, and you'll see it at that hour. Venus, beautiful. It has maybe that's why I do a morning show, because Venus is always right there. I could see it in the morning. I got the window open. Venus is looking down on me. It's invoking its rays. So. What else do we know? Let's let the spin machine take it. Fox News: Trump ordered off ballot in Colorado by state Supreme Court. Let's spin it, Fox. Spin it.
Just getting that breaking news about the Colorado State Supreme Court saying, based on the 14th Amendment and former President Trump's actions during January 6th, that he is not allowed to be on the ballot in Colorado. Just receiving word from the Trump campaign, a reaction to this ruling. Quote, unsurprisingly, the all-Democrat appointed Colorado Supreme Court has ruled against President Trump, supporting a Soros-funded left-wing group's scheme to interfere in an election on behalf of crooked Joe Biden by removing President Trump's name from the ballot and eliminating the rights of Colorado voters to vote for the candidate of their choice. Democrat Party leaders are in a state of paranoia over the growing dominant lead President Trump has amassed in the polls. They've lost faith in the failed Biden presidency and are now doing everything they can to stop the American voters from throwing them out of office next November. Colorado Supreme Court issued a completely flawed decision tonight. We will swiftly file an appeal to the United States Supreme Court and a concurrent request for a stay of this deeply undemocratic decision. We have full confidence that the Supreme Court will quickly rule in our favor and finally put an end to these un-American lawsuits. Again, that's from the Trump campaign spokesperson. And obviously we'll follow this as it heads up. We are talking about the polls tonight as this breaking news comes down.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
So there you go, man. There's Fox reading. They read the report, the Trump statement. Zuzu Cruder says 6 months out of the year, Venus is the morning star, is the evening star as well. I know that. I actually knew that. I didn't know it was. I thought it was both morning and evening. But it seems like if it's the morning, it can't be the evening, right? So, yeah, I look forward to that. So in the evening, I'm naive to that. Venus in the evening, 6 months out of the year, is going to slowly become the brightest star. It'll be the first star you see. In the morning, it's the last star you see. Fascinating stuff. Thank you for that. For that info. Is Venus making its own light or reflecting sun? It's a reflection. The sun is the Venus is not a sun. It's a planet like ours. It has a very reflective layer. Listen to Styx Hexenhammer talk about the Trump situation. Let's listen.
The Supreme Court should not be dragged in to such a nonsensical debate. Donald Trump self-evidently did not commit insurrection. He has not been charged with any such crime.
Correct.
He's not been convicted of any such crime. And so this is breaking news. This is in the last hour. Colorado, their state Supreme Court is batshit. to tell the truth, these people are batshit.
Yep.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. These are the people, by the way, to Coloradans out there. To people,
He's absolutely right about that. Anybody looking at this saying, "What the fuck are you talking about, man? Get your head out of your legal ass." All right? They're losing touch. That's the problem. The high courts are losing, not the Supreme Court, but these politicized courts are losing their touch with reality, and they're seeing things that are not there. They're like hallucinating. Right?
from Colorado. This is the same court that decides your interior state policy. They clearly have flipped their lid. They're claiming that Donald Trump cannot appear on the ballot because he participated in insurrection. But there's no charge of insurrection. There's been no investigation into a charge for insurrection. There's certainly not been any conviction for insurrection or anything akin to that. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump is charged with business fraud mainly. It's business fraud, RICO in Fulton County. You have document retention. None of these things have anything to do with sedition, insurrection, anything like that. Rebellion against the United States or its allies or anything like that. There's no similarity whatsoever. You need to understand this. If Donald Trump is disqualified from the ballot in the state of Colorado, there should be a beefy write-in campaign. And people should vote their conscience, and they should vote him in anyway.
I agree.
This may actually help Donald Trump, though, because now you might have a Supreme Court case that quashes all of the other meaningless cases as well.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. It does work to Trump's advantage. Say that again?
Because now you might have a Supreme Court case that quashes all of the other meaningless cases as well.
That's right. That's right. This one quashes. This case will supersede all the other garbage cases. Right? Supreme Court's going to chirp in. Clarence Thomas is going to have a lot to say about it. Gorsuch is going to have a lot to say about it, right? They're all going to chirp in. They're all going to. I don't see how Judge Roberts says that this is insurrection. I think that this is a slam dunk for Trump.
Which would be good. I think that the best thing would be simply that the Supreme Courts of the states, going forward, make the right decision, which is quite clearly, and a number of states have already weighed in. Donald Trump cannot be disqualified from the ballot simply because people claim that he's engaged in insurrectionist activities.
That's right.
Because that's
there's no law that was broken. That's the thing about Trump. He didn't break any laws. There's no crimes and there's no laws. It's just fiction. Right? It's fiction.
Simple claim is not a legal one.
It's conspiracy theory, is what it is. Right? I'm sorry. I'm stepping on sticks here. He says it's just a legal theory that Trump is an insurrectionist.
That he's engaged in insurrectionist activities, because that simple claim is not a legal one. It means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Unfortunately, in the retard state of Colorado, they have a different way of doing things, which is very, very sad. And so it might rip our republic apart. The ripping apart of the republic, maybe it will start in Colorado, over in the Rockies. Not predicting that, and I'm hoping that it doesn't happen, but what the fuck are the people smoking in that Supreme Court there? Oh, wait, weed was legalized there some time ago, and I think psychedelic mushrooms as well. Maybe your Supreme Court is on mushrooms. That would explain it. That's about all. Peace out.
Thank you, Sticks Exenheimer. That was a good report. Let's hear from Vivek, the very smart Indian man who has been now accused of being a fascist and other ridiculousness. He's on his private plane, rocking back and forth.
President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional tried to bar President Trump from the They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization.
Hey, in the chat, if people are talking about the planets, I'll do a show on it. I'll do a show on that, maybe. Jupiter. Jupiter is fascinating. Venus, Mars. Mars is always visible as well. It's fascinating stuff. It really is. You know, for someone who grew up in a 90% of his life in a city, I rarely saw and was able to follow, the stars because the sky is so bright, especially in a place like New York. And you don't really see them, You don't. You gotta. You probably do. You probably did see Venus, but I wasn't paying attention. Anyway.
Of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States.
Agree.
That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw, I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong. And I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake. Whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country.
I don't know about that. I don't know about you have to rally Republicans. All you have to do is you got to rally the Supreme Court. You got to really, really pay attention to this decision. If it's decided by the Supreme Court, 9 smart people, if they decide that the thing is unconstitutional, that the ruling to bar Trump is unconstitutional, that is the end of it. That's where it ends right there. It dies a painful death. Right? Then they'll try something else. They'll try some other bullshit.
Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary.
All right, Vivek Ramaswamy, the great Vivek Ramaswamy. What about Alex Jones is back? Alex Jones got 1 million views on this one. What's up, Alex? What do you got to say about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Democratic Party just stole the 2024 election long before the polls opened.
No, they didn't. Stop exaggerating.
The Supreme Court of Colorado, in a 4-3 decision, without Trump ever being convicted of January 6th or any of that other garbage, just said Trump is off the ballot in the primary, so you can't vote for him to be president. And they say other states will follow. We've seen Jack Smith and the politically motivated operations. We've seen trials in New York without juries against Trump. This is criminal activity in front of everyone. This is the oligarchy that's hijacked our country, setting up a totalitarian dictatorship in our face.
That's a bit of a reach. It's not that they're setting it up, but they've been doing this for a while, Alex. I don't know where you've been, but this has been going on for a while. It's confusion is what it is. It's these judges. I got to tell you, you might think like, oh, they're just doing it for the publicity and the buck. They actually believe it. These judges believe that Trump is an insurrectionist. They look at the situation and they can't see that it was a bunch of people voicing something that many people in this country agree with, that the elections are not fair, that the way the ballots are counted is inaccurate, right? A lot of people believe that, right? And that's really all Trump is guilty of.
The Supreme Court must act quickly to overturn this, but you see the incredible pressure going on against the U.S. Supreme Court right now by the media, the attacks on Clarence Thomas and more. This is a dark day for our republic.
That's very true. That's very true. The liberal media is going after the liberal Supreme Court, guys like Clarence Thomas.
In their move. When all these indictments of Trump blew up in their face, it made his approval rating go up even higher, 10, 15 points above Biden. They didn't stop. So now they're moving and have been successful in Colorado to take him off the ballot so you can't vote for him. The definition of stealing an election. We'll be covering this all live tomorrow.
It definitely is the definition of stealing an election. There's no doubt about that. It's accurate.
At 11 a.m. Central on the Alex Jones Show at Infowars.
You can't write a better script for election interference. I mean, it's just bring up one ridiculous case after another and force the Supreme Court to have to shoot them all down.
.com/show. You can follow us right here at X. But this is incredible. And look, it shows what tyrants do throughout history. When they're cornered, when a bureaucracy, when a coup is exposed, it digs in and it goes for broke.
That's right.
And this has happened right now. Remember, they've indicted him federally for saying the election was stolen in 2020 when there's massive evidence. But regardless of what we think about that evidence, this is open election meddling. This is saying you can't vote for who you want to. And they just did it last year
Yeah, it's
in
news.
Brazil when Bolsonaro questioned the election.
Right.
The State Department went down there and got their government to pass a law saying Bolsonaro can't run for president either.
Right. They would do that here too. They would try to pass a law saying that the Trump clause, right? They'll try to pass a Trump clause, right? But we already have this. They're not going in that direction. They're going in the direction of the violation of the 14th Amendment. I think it fails again because there's no precedence. Right? They're not going to. It's not going to stick. Right? The Confederates there was a war. There was no war here. It was just it was a rally, like many other rallies in America.
That's what they're doing. They're telling you who you can and can't vote for. Infowars.com, tomorrow's news today. The tyrants are up in your grill.
All right, thank you, Alex Jones. Let's listen to CBS.
Former President Donald Trump will be left off the state's primary and presidential ballots. The former president could appeal it to the U.S. Supreme Court and almost certainly will.
Of course he certainly will, you jackass.
Trump's candidacy was challenged by invoking the 14th Amendment's disqualification clause. It states that anyone engaging in insurrection cannot hold public office. That, of course, refers to his actions on and before January 6th. CBS News chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us.
It's hysterical to watch CBS spin this as if it's something valid. These are smart people. They all have bachelor's degrees. They all have fucking degrees from Brown and Duke and Harvard, and they can't distinguish fucking election interference from reality. They can't do it. They're not capable of seeing that. And reporting it from the proper angle? Of course they are.
Now, Major, what's your first reaction to the ruling?
That this is an important moment for Colorado and quite possibly, John, an important moment for the nation. The Colorado Supreme Court was asked to answer a never-before-asked question in our entire history. Could the actions of a president blocking the peaceful transfer of power and setting in motion a violent effort to resist that peaceful transfer of power be, according to a court, deemed an insurrectionist? And if so, therefore disqualified from ever appearing on that state's ballot again? That's the central question. And the Colorado Supreme Court has said the answer to that is yes, that the behavior of the former president, while he was president of the United States, attempting with a crowd...
His behavior. What behavior? What behavior?
...into the Capitol and interfering with the certification of electoral votes was acting as an insurrectionist in an anti-constitutional way. This is appealable, as you said, John, and it most certainly will be.
It's a ridiculous legal argument. It's so ridiculous. CBS won't call it out.
Appeal.
They say they want it. They got an interest. A lot of people have an interest in this one. They're trying anything. They're throwing everything at Trump, no matter what, everything. It's unprecedented. That's what's really unprecedented. The way to what degree they're trying the stop Trump campaign is there. It's very real.
But we have
never seen. I mean, I'm 60. I've seen a lot of elections. I'm a new broadcaster. I've only been doing this for less than 10 years, but in my lifetime, I've never seen any kind of interference like this before. This is crazy, right? And it's not just Trump. It's anybody who remotely agrees with Trump in this respect, right? That election should be free and fair. It's going to get crushed. Right? That's what's happening.
a great deal of murkiness.
That I know a lot about.
Around this central question because it's never been asked before. And this falls into the broad category of where we find our law and politics in America today. Would we be asking these questions if but for Trump? And in this question, the answer is no, because we've never asked this question before. We've never had to even imagine what an answer to this question would be. But we do now, and one state, other states have either bypassed this or sort of left it in abeyance where this question
There's
has been raised.
there's no objectivity anymore in any of these things. Let's look at the market. Market is open and it's coming off the bottom. It looked like it was going to go down. Now it's going up again. What do we got here? Green. Look at that. NASDAQ just went green. How about that? NASDAQ just went green. Let's see. NASDAQ is green by 9 points. Dow down 79 points. S&P 500 pretty much flat, down 5. What else we got? What else? Rivian down 14 cents to $24 a share. Wow, what a run that was. I started chirping about it at 18 again, and it's back up to 24. NVIDIA ready to break 500. It's up $3.50, $499 a share. Grab it before it goes to fucking 800. Google up $3. Apple up 49 cents. Amazon up 50 cents. Meta, formerly Facebook, up 49 cents. Microsoft up 70 cents. Tesla up 53 cents. So it's kind of a flat to lower open, but the Nasdaq came back. The Nasdaq is bouncing this morning. See how it's bouncing up? There we go. There's the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, big green move off the bottom, whoop, and we're higher, right? And we're higher, right? Higher. We're going higher. I can't believe it. I can't believe I missed the bottom, man. You know, it's like depressing, right? It's depressing. You know, the market came off the bottom so fast, and so many people, you know, they missed that dip, right? And now it's back by the top. Right? It's like almost. It blocked a lot of people out, right? It knocked a lot of people out of that. That's what down markets do. They knock people out. Right? People that can't hold on anymore, right? They need the money, right? They need the fucking money. Right? And so anyway, thank you all for joining me. Mark Scott reporting, and I don't know. I think if I had to make a prediction here, I would say that Trump turns this into a win. It gives the Supreme Court a first opportunity to chirp in about the not only January 6th incidences, but also the 14th Amendment. What's interesting too, it just occurred to me that if the Supreme Court does chirp in on the January 6th stuff, again, there's about 1,000 people sitting in jail right now for January 6th, sitting around with their fingers crossed, waiting for Trump to get in and get them out. And if the Supreme Court rules that no insurrection occurred by Trump, or that's precedence from the Supreme Court, and you could also make the argument that there was no insurrection at all. How could something? See, right now the court is making the argument that Trump was the lead insurrectionist. He led the charge for insurrection. He's the king of the insurrection, right? Without every insurrection has a leader, right? So if the Supreme Court rules that he wasn't the leader and there was no leader, then there was no insurrection, correct? Nobody tried to overthrow anything. It was just a bunch of people pushing their way into the the halls of Congress to get a good look at it. Right? That's really all it was. Right? So, see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Hang in there, man. Hang in there. Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. We're gonna be okay. We are okay, ladies and gentlemen. We are okay. We're okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Walking Axel, what's up? How are you? TJ's here. Vanderloo. Les Grossman is here as well. TJ, I said your name twice. Ted Hanks. V.D. Martini. Weevil Girl, our wrenches. Thank you. Give a hand to the wrenches. It ain't easy being a wrench. Sean Kane is here. Chris Milk. Good morning, Chris. My buddy, my brother. Sickle Fritz 896. Sickle Fritz 896. It's Cooter and everybody else who's hanging out today. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for making this show a show, making this real. Right? Because if I was just sitting here talking to myself, it wouldn't be very interesting. I'm talking to you, man. I'm talking with you. Right? Thomas Robinson says, Harry Christmas. Hare Krishna. I'll see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. See you tomorrow. Peace out.